These patients are part of a group called COVID long haulers, people who just can't fight off some of the lingering effects of the virus, some more severe than others. And they make up about 10% of COVID patients.
This is my mom, Petronilo. She went by Mary.
It's been a challenging year for Kenya Leon.
She was a feisty blonde at times.
Her mom passed away from COVID-19 at a Las Vegas hospital. This while Leon and several other family members also battled the virus.
Around the 23rd of March, we were all pretty much positive.
Nearly a year later, Leon is still fighting the after effects.
I just want to show you everything I pulled out of my brush.
Hair loss isn't her only struggle.
Now I have like high blood pressure. Sometimes it drops really low, like out of nowhere, and I have to make sure I can like sit down.
That's frustrating. I can do, so you can already tell I'm a little out of breath.
Christine Schackinger is in a similar situation.
Still have issues with shortness of breath when I exercise.
Schackinger's doctor was convinced she had coronavirus last March, even though her test said otherwise.
The doctor that first saw me that first week believed I had COVID. Had he not given me prednisone and nebulizer treatments, there's a really good chance I would have been in the ER.
She never ended up in the hospital, but her symptoms just never fully go away.
The hair loss has been a big thing, and then I still get vertigo on and off.
Schackinger, who's a consultant, and Leon, a psychotherapist, both work at home. But their long hauler symptoms make their jobs difficult.
There are days where I know that like just getting out of bed is going to be a challenge. Just brain fog, like you're tired, you can't remember things.
What causes these long-term symptoms? Dr. Mark Kahn, Dean of UNLV School of Medicine, says it's not entirely clear.
We're really still not sure scientifically what's causing their symptoms. However, there are patients with active infection who have had clots in both big and small vessels. So some of long hauler syndrome may be that.
Schackinger and Leon are just some of the thousands of patients across the United States asking for help with persistent symptoms now associated with what's being called post-COVID syndrome. New research from the University of Washington found the infection can persist for up to 9 months. Leon is currently trying to be added to a wait list for a long haulers clinic open at the University of California Davis Health.
We've partnered with other members of the UC Davis Health System in cardiovascular medicine, infectious disease, neurology, rheumatology, and immunology to help design a diagnostic algorithm to address the patient's symptoms right from the beginning.
As long hauler recovery clinics spring up across the country, UMC is finalizing plans to launch 2 of their own here in our valley in a matter of weeks. The clinics will help connect patients with local specialists. The UNLV School of Medicine is also exploring the idea of a COVID long haulers clinic.
What we would need is a clinic of primary care providers because most of the symptoms are referable to primary care problems.
Schackinger says help can't come soon enough. She fears her lingering symptoms could become permanent.
With the breathing issue, I've had some fluid retention, so I'm a little concerned.
As Leon battles for recovery, she takes every day one step at a time.
It does kind of come to a head sometimes, and it's just giving ourselves grace and permission to not have to be 100% that day.
Medical experts say until recovery clinics are available to target persistent symptoms, the best option for COVID long haulers is to aggressively treat problems with your physician. Don't ignore them. While much about the virus remains a mystery, much is being learned every day, and treatments continue to evolve. I'm Tiffany Lane reporting News 3. Parents, we've heard you. We know thousands of your kids will go back to classrooms on Monday. With day 1 coming up, we're digging deep into what your child will experience. Does the plan help our kids' academic and mental health, or does it leave them outclassed?
You got to wear a mask all day.
Frank and Dominique Shinta are preparing.
How are you going to play kickball when you got to be 6 feet apart?
For a first day unlike their kids will ever know again. Their kids, Frank Jr. and Charlie, got pages and pages of new rules their kids will have to keep.
They're at an age, too, where I don't think they fully understand the gravity of what's going on in the world.
Different, too, for 2nd and 3rd graders, Alia and Avani. Dad Naru's accepting day 1 will be.
It's going to be very different from what they're used to.
But just how different? News 3 hearing from teachers in recent weeks that parents may not know just how restricted their kids will be because of COVID. Outclassed went to the classrooms. Teacher Kristen Nigro confesses,
there's not going to be much movement.
restricted recess, no playing on playground equipment.
You got to stay 6 feet apart.
Also, think in-person learning means face-to-face instruction all the time? It's not what some families and teachers tell News 3. In one Facebook post, viewer Mundo said, the fact that some students will be at school in front of a computer is not actually face-to-face. One parent who kept her son at home said, his teacher has been assigned to in-person learning, so my son will be getting a new teacher for the last 3 months of school.
Do you prefer to see your teacher in person or behind a computer?
In person.
What makes it better for you?
Talking to her, like asking questions, like so she can talk to us in person.
This is something we spent a lot of time and dedication and money on, a lot of tears.
For Amanda Hill, it's not just a ceremony.
And then my dad and my sister are just passed since COVID. I need to walk and wear their ashes. I need to walk.
In her family's honor, the non-traditional student has worked part-time, raised her children, and spent hours studying for her diploma.
So imagine her reaction when she found that instead of being in person, UNLV announced its graduation would be entirely online.
To have that yanked from you is not good at all.
On Tuesday, UNLV sent out this email to students saying, in part, with public health risks posed by large gatherings, UNLV will not hold in-person commencement ceremonies this spring, adding that there will be a virtual ceremony instead. A spokesperson at the university also told News 3 the decision was made with health and safety at the forefront and informed by current statewide COVID-19 guidelines.
It sucks, these people have been studying for 4 years, working really, really hard.
So I don't think it's fair to them to not allow it.
As for Amanda, she just hopes she can walk along that stage to cherish that moment for her dad, sister, children, and for herself.
This is a very important milestone. It's not something that they can give back to us. We spent a lot of hard work and a lot of years working toward this degree.